that's right, Angeles City.
We met on the moon, you were dancing in the dark, feeling confused, didn't know if it was love in my heart. Called you my bubbly bear, you have such great hugs of love. Didn't make much sense, but I think I got it right. Oh, what a feeling I've got inside. Oh, oh, what a feeling I've got inside. Love and life in Angeles City, love and life in the Philippine life. Day after day, something growing in your mind. We met on the moon, you were dancing in the dark from the start. Could it be the feeling of love? Could it be the feeling of love? Could it be the feeling of love? Could it be the feeling of love?
How's that? Can you guys hear me now? Gotcha, gotcha. Holy crap. Could you hear you probably could hear the music, right? Can you guys hear? Let me know. Yeah, George is asleep. Good morning, guys. Now, can you hear me? Okay, sorry, until I actually look over. Okay. Nope, disconnected wire. Two of the cats were up here last night. So until I looked over. All right, let's start from the beginning. We have an update on the pastor, the American that's been arrested. And it appears that he does have all of his permits. It seems to be false accusations. And I was just saying for the last few minutes that that kids make false accusations all the time. Could be jealousy, could be a couple other things. I went into Mark Thornton that a lot of these expats, you're just like, oh, this guy, oh yeah, he's innocent like the rest of them. Unfortunately, I think we've got a guy that just got railroaded because I have a full history for the guy. And another pastor has come forward, a bunch of people that know him, and there's just no way. From what we know of the guy, it's just a no way. And I was saying that kids in foster care have been known to throw false accusations. There's jealousy, could be, there are kids, I believe they said up to the age of 18 or 19. I know the newspaper said something. But here's the thing, another newspaper as of 12 hours ago was still running. He's going to be deported. Um, I have additional photos. I will run some of the video on there. So, yeah, right. So let me pull up. All right. So this was yesterday. I'm going to run it because this is part two. And for those that missed it, because as of yesterday, the story came out a couple days ago that for those that don't know, there was a pastor named Jeremy Ferguson, an American 48. He is married to a Filipino, has a kid. He's been doing charity here since '03. And he not only runs a church here that's been here long term, but also he now has a facility where he houses, oh, it's over 160 kids. There were some accusations that there was verbal abuse, mental abuse, and they said they were locked up. They locked the kids up and they did other things. But remember, he has psychologists and other staff there. He has a ton of other staff, and something has come up that they literally arrested him. And George says somebody didn't get their palms greased or something's really off on this. It just didn't seem right. A lot of his backers and what we know of him, and some of our people that donate to the facility and that have been there and have seen the facility, it's just hard for me to believe this is going on. This is not a closed facility where nobody's allowed in there. Something went south. Jeremy Ferguson, 48, I believe he came from Florida. That's what I found online. Is locked up in the detention center in Mexico, Pampanga, which isn't very far. It's probably about 5 miles from here. And another pastor from Lighthouse BBC, the senior pastor, has come through to say some things about the facility. And so they claim DSWD yesterday, what's his name was in here saying that, oh, this is a long-term investigation. They just didn't jump at him for no reason. If you would see the other facilities, including DSWD, and see the other places that house these children, okay, yes, it's better than the streets that they come from. And we reposted a video yesterday that showed where some of these kids live. They don't go and take those kids away from the parents. They don't go in and do this stuff. And I get the protection of the children. This is not, we're not, condemning that, hey, kids need to be beat to keep them in line, and that, oh, they're poor and all the kids should be taken away. No, this is about right and wrong at this point. Okay. And the the one biggest claim is that he was unlicensed and misappropriation of funds. It's and then we had a comment that said yesterday they had discussed that they hate facilities like this because the funds aren't being used appropriately and blah. It's like you can clearly see this does not take pennies to run. It doesn't matter if it looks like this and they've only got fans or whatever. They do the schooling, they do the church, they do the facility itself. It's just not just an American there. It's the American and his Filipino wife, and there's expats there donating clothes and toys all the time. Bannon Man is involved. He's been doing charity here for a long time, and it was just hard for me and George to swallow on this one. And so it's just amazing. And now all the other proof is actually coming off. So there's the facility. So it's an orphanage where they've been adding more and more. There's always expats there. There's Bannon Man. And he did make a speech basically saying that he was innocent. It was in Tagalog, so I'll spare you guys on that one because I can't fully translate and George is not getting up anytime soon. Luke, I'll get your guys' comments. So this is an update. Just more articles in regard to DSWD because basically they're saying that the American National is subject to numerous complaints by the children that said they experienced physical, verbal, and psychological abuse, along with him not having the permits to run the place. And here in a minute, you'll see he had them all, and he's had them for years. So I don't get that.
Ano lang, Kap, ignore mo lang sila kasi galit na galit sila.
And of course, the kids are upset, guys. This is just a repeat that they're saying it's not fair. Because 160 kids, based on a couple accusations, will shut a whole facility down. I get it. But I would have removed those kids and checked everything else. But remember, they're doing their job too. The DSWD.
This is a private one. We can take pictures and everything else. And all this is going public anyhow.
Good morning, bad boy. Thank you so much.
Ang daming tao sa mundo na
Appreciate it.
mga bata dito. May karapatan na naman naman kung ano ba ito.
Punta-punta mo kasi dito eh.
And there's where they do their water gun fights every week. He says it's good for their frustration and everything. And I want to let you guys know also, as I discussed yesterday, they're a very open facility. Other churches go up there. They have full church. It's not closed down. Several big vloggers have been out there and seen the facility. It's really a great place. I don't get it. I really don't. And I said yesterday, there's this one asshole vlogger that's in the US that runs mostly a TikTok, came through and said that he was a pedo. And that's what they were putting out. And I'm like, not one article mentioned anything about that. And that was really shitty of him. And he did it within the day. He's like waiting for the news to bust out. And then he, just like he did the in Mindanao when the American got kidnapped, some of the shit he said was just unreal. So 1 second, guys. I'm going to play this and then looks like the landlord's here. Let me play this for you guys. Hi. 1 second. All right, there's the permits, guys. Let me pay the rent real quick. I didn't think you'd come here. I didn't think you come this weekend. George. All right, guys. Talk among yourselves. All right, so there we are. Sorry about that, guys. Hey, stop. George is still asleep, and the landlord never comes on the weekend, and he's 3 days late, so rent is paid. It's weird. It's like you never know with Filipinos. It's really in America we're in a rush, and we're about in the UK usually too about appointments and being on time and all that. And the landlord guy never comes on the weekend, and sure enough, George is asleep, and I'm running a live, and everything else is going south today on a up-to-date, what I call a semi-emergency live. Boom, landlord comes. So there you have it. So as you guys were seeing, here are the permits. Boom. It's clearly showing they've been here for a long time, licensed teachers, everything is licensed, guys. That's the big caveat. That's half their complaint is the facility is like closing based on psychological this abuse and that, when they've got all kinds of therapists and different things going on. That's what's blowing my mind. I'm kind of hard pressed on it. So let me put on my glasses here and read what I got for you guys, because this statement just came in. You're looking at a preacher that is from another church. A call for DSWD to carefully review their allegations, and they need to reconsider their actions against this Baptist pastor, Jeremy Ferguson, the orphanage ministry of the New Life Baptist Church of Pampanga, and an appeal to reinstate these children and bring them back. He goes in and he makes a quote from the Bible. Okay. And he's just saying to retake a look based on, the laws of the Philippines. Goes in, talks about RA 11897 and the Baptist councils. There's all kinds of rules that are actually here. Now, how they're actually applied is beyond me, but they know. He said, on my way to Mexico, Pampanga, I was thinking of these verses that I just went through. And we reposted this on Facebook if you guys want to go see this. Two other Baptist pastors had come with me, also a licensed clinical psychologist, Pastor Ferdinand Bongo Oscala of the Lighthouse BBC, and some people from Rizal, and registered pharmacists were coming. So he's got all kinds of people backing him on what type of person he is. These are the things that he can confirm and swears by. That Pastor Jeremy Ferguson, he came to the Philippines as a very young missionary 22 years ago, and he married a Filipina in 2004. They now have a 19-year-old son that's been living in the Philippines. He has not left the Philippines since then. He has been here this whole time, okay? In 2017, with a concern with the kids, he did start the orphanage in 2017, which became the church's lead ministry. They operate the orphanage on a 7,000 square meter church property, and they've helped 300 children, okay, but 160 remain. But over the years, he's helped thousands. Both the church and the orphanage have complete legal documents, permits, and certificates. 8 years of their operation and orphanage, they did not have a single complaint during the 8 years, not one till recently. So think about that, guys. If this guy was just mean as a snake like me, I'm just going to be consistently being a bitch. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to be consistent. And there was not one complaint till recently. Okay. They carefully comply with all the DSWD regulations, the biggest challenge of which the employment of social workers. He has his own social workers there, which comply with the ratio to 25 kids to a social worker. August the 12th, Tuesday, a team of social workers came to the orphanage and directly talked to the kids. The impression was it was a regular routine inspection when they showed up. Somebody said, how are they not regulating? Right here it states it. They do. And he's passed them all. They're there on and off. So everything is above board. I did not have this till this morning. Okay. I couldn't answer yesterday when we did the live stream. Okay. So everything is above board. And then, okay, that was on the 12th. Then they were surprised. They came back on the 13th and they were surprised on the raid. They raided. All of a sudden, the pastor and the people were treated like criminals without any warrants, nothing. They arrested him. The DSWD personnel also assisted heavily and came in with SWAT. Okay, that's uncalled for. They were not made aware of any complaints, no warnings, no signs. So I forgot who it was in here, probably in here now, made a statement that, oh, you need to watch. I believe it was what's his name, in Panay or whatever. I believe you said that this was one of you guys said yesterday that this has been an ongoing investigation. There was a investigation the day before, but that's a regular routine. So stuff it on that one, guys, because it wasn't an ongoing based on whatever kid ran their trap and got him in trouble. Probably a jealous Pinoy, probably somebody, just something's not right. Something's not right. And you don't go in like that. You just don't go in like that. And don't say that it was trafficking over and over again. Don't go in and say that he's a pedo and all pastors are bad, because that's bullshit. It's just all bullshit. And the further I go into this, it's ridiculous. And so then at that point, in order for the children, to be there, they've got other staffing, a lot of staff. It's just not him trying to willy nilly something. Okay. It says here Pastor Jeremy Ferguson has denied all allegations, specifically the things cited in the news report, okay, by Secretary Rex Gatchlin. What he knows is that there were only 2 complaints drawn up by DSWD social workers last August of 12, which they would be considering just recently. They always say it's almost like last year, but just last 2 days ago, a couple days ago, guys. And let's see, it's in Tagalog. After talking with Jeremy for a few more hours, this pastor headed to the orphanage to see the facility. It was raining a bunch. I recorded everything so things could be seen, what it looked like when everybody was taken out of there. The things that I found, they placed the barbed wire there because of the rising insistence of teenage runaways being there. Okay, so also when people put up barbed wire like they did in Mexico, it's also to keep people out. Okay, it doesn't make it a prison, and it's actually to keep the kids, because with teenagers there, they want to go out and do drugs, they want to go out and have sex, they want to go out and party with their friends, but they still want a place to sleep. So if he did that to keep them in, that's not him holding them hostage, guys. It also says the gate has to be sealed because of the instances where outsiders are exhibiting their private parts to girls and handing over love letters to some of the teenagers in the facility, which has been done over and over and over again. Makes sense. Makes absolute sense. People are also trying to get in. I believe the exposing part too. Their own 19-year-old son is helping and operating the actual facility. They do not employ guards, so that's hence the gates are closed and also the barbed wire. So it's just too costly at that point. Don't say 500 pesos a day, blah 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 blah. The place is run on funds that are coming in. It also says that here they inspected the office. Here's all the documents. You guys just seen all the documents, okay? Each room is equipped with wall fans, cabinets, drawers for the kids. They do separate the boys from the girls. They have a playground, they have a mess hall with canteens. There's new buildings going up. I talked to all personnel and gathered them inside the mess hall and recorded the videos of all of them. Everyone had positive to say about the pastor. Jeremy Ferguson described him as being a strict father, but he is nice, which, like I said, what the hell? You can't let them goddamn kids walk on you. I'm sorry. It's just, like I said, think of the foster care in the United States, guys. I'm sorry. You can't. But it doesn't mean somebody got pissed off is what's going on. They didn't get away with something. And it says here that one of those I talked to was their scholar who will soon graduate as a social worker. She has been there the whole 8 years, and she said that they are the 2 of them that just graduated from Pampanga State University. They became Department State social workers, magna cum laude. Okay, one of the kids brought by DSWD's schedule for operation, and they all wondered how the child should be cared for. I stayed in the facility for an hour, and before I left, we all prayed. After the prayer, the oldest of the staff, 69, said to me, Bishop, okay, I can't see it in Tagalog what it says, but they had a conversation. I have all the testimonies recorded. I am willing to endorse this to Secretary Rex Gatchlin. All the personnel I talked to there denied any accusations of employing any criminal acts. There's no chains, nobody's starving, no severe punishments, but moral, biblical, and discipline. The Bible teaches us about biblical discipline. I guarantee that goes on in the other facilities. I'm going to tell you that right now. All right. So that is what is going on. And they do have the permits. Here's the thing. I bet they deport him anyways. I'm sorry. That's exactly what's going to happen. There he is talking with in Pampanga. That's one of the head people. I bet they get rid of him anyway. 1 second. All right. So let me play the rest of this. Mary. So this is just the rest of the facility. Hey, John Ryder. So there it is. Looks like George is going to join us. Hey. Oh, I forgot about that. So the permits are here. And I'm just kind of out there on the whole situation, guys. Let me know what you think, and I'll go through the comments. Sorry about all the distractions, guys. Been a hot mess this morning. There's definitely something going on. I hope that he comes out very soon. I have contacted Bannon Man to see if there's anything that we can do. We're, like I said, probably less than 5 miles from the facility. Might be a little longer with traffic, but I'm sure beyond a doubt with his wife and 19-year-old son here and all the churches backing him up locally, I'm sure he has everything. I can't imagine they haven't brought him like a fan and different things. No, leave that alone, baby. Leave that alone. So I can't imagine that he's not, but we have made, the reach out for him to see what he needs. He might just need me just to show up and say, hey, this is a good guy situation. I'm not sure, but yeah. So hey, John Ryder. And I'm gonna go back up to the top. The cats had kicked the wire out this morning, so we started out now that George is awake. But they kicked the wire out. Then we didn't have any audio. I wasn't going to do a live stream till I just had this entire article.
What is this?
Them are the donuts from yesterday.
Oh, I thought these were
I
new.
figured you would, yeah.
No glaze?
You grab that and put that on the bed so I can answer these people. This has been the most messed up live stream
Oh,
we've
I
had.
Grab what?
Just sit on the pink one or either way. Mary, down, sweetie. But no, everybody was trying to get my attention, and I'm trying to get straight into the deal. So we were silenced because of a wire, and then here you go.
It's not maxed out.
It's what? I think that's disturbing.
No, it's just the OCD corner thing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let George take a look. I don't know if you looked at that article.
Well,
The whole point is I think we finally have an innocent expat. And the whole deal is I was just reading 1 second. I was just reading to the people that all of his permits are there.
well, that's not the problem though.
So look at this. Yeah, but
No, I know.
the abuse came from the day before. This is not a long term. DSWD's there all the time. So they came in on the 12th. They came back in less than 48 hours later, and they arrested him with a SWAT. Like there was no warning, no nothing. We got to turn that down, by the way.
Well, like I said, that's not the problem I have with this situation.
It's unreal.
Well, it makes
yeah.
sense, but
Oh, you. Well, George, I mean, what is your opinion?
I don't think I can say anything because one, you are an expert.
No, I got that. I thought about that, but this isn't Gambia.
Well,
I mean,
what
I
I'm
can
saying
still
is,
have an opinion about a pastor actually doing it. If you're talking about giving the nitty gritty about what's really going on,
right?
then I get that that's a problem.
Correct.
And yes, political or not, it's still a situation going on.
Okay.
It's just where it is. Good morning, MB is in the
Oh,
house.
it doesn't show me everything. That's on.
You're probably in the wrong block. You probably see you clicked on the other channel.
Oh.
You're going to have to take anything away.
No, that's the flag. It has nothing to do with over here. Hey. Don't go get mad.
Sarah, what did you get? Yes, it is Sunday, and
Oh my gosh. Yeah, never mind. Sunday is not a good day to go
thank
out.
you
Just saying.
for letting. Good morning.
Jesus, kid.
It's been a madhouse today.
You
Anything
okay?
that can
You
go
okay?
wrong can go wrong.
You okay? Wow.
No, they're all wound up.
Yeah, I see that.
They've ripped up the pad off the floor for the dog.
Holy
They've all been
cow,
fighting
what's going
each
on
I
here?
don't know. Landlord showed up. He never shows up on the weekend.
He never shows up.
Neighbor,
Yeah, he never
neighbor is outside.
Oh, that's why he showed up. Because
because
yeah,
they're.
that's why. Yeah.
But they're coming back several times. He
No,
was
but
here
that was
collecting
probably the
anyways.
final. His final. That's what
I
it
don't
is.
know, but either way, it's a madhouse.
No, well, yeah, 'cause-
and including the audio. So yes, they're all off the chain. The dog's chasing all the cats. The cats are attacking each other. They were up here and kicked the wires out. Cussing like a sailor. Thank you, Bobby G. Let's see. Was the pastor near the Muslim area of the Philippines? No, it's here in Angeles City. Consider Pampanga or Mexico. It's still in what we would consider the Angeles City area in general.
Well, technically, no. No. The reason why I said that is because
I'm not trying to be technical for people that don't know the area. I'm
No.
just saying it's
No.
that section.
See, a lot of people aren't aware that Bajau are Muslim, and they do take over areas. But no, the answer is no.
Yeah. Mary, stop.
Yeah.
You guys better stop. And I don't know, Second Wind said earlier, it says, how can it be re-recorded and live? Yeah. It's probably because now that I think about it, it's because the music clip came in, and the music you will hear that. If the cord is kicked out in the back and I had to put it back in, you just weren't hearing me. So, which they could hear the music, and then for 3 minutes I'm talking. It just,
Murphy's Law. If anything can go wrong, it will go wrong.
yeah, someone's telling you to fix it. Yeah.
Yeah, Lucas says his permits do not matter anymore.
No, they're going to get rid of them. I'm going to tell you right now. I bet they don't reverse this because now it's saving face. I don't give a shit what people say about saving face, that it's not real, or there's different ways people describe save. At this point, with every newspaper, including DSWD, reporting this, you really think they're going to withdraw and say, "Hey, we made a mistake"? They came in with a freaking SWAT, man.
Well,
They took a statement. A few kids said they were being abused and held in, and I was just talking about foster care in the U.S. It's a hot mess there. And the same thing, I was just reading in there that they said the pastor from the other big church nearby said there are gates that are closed all the time. There are perverts out there masturbating in front of these walls and calling girls and giving love letters. Some of these girls have worked the streets. Some of these kids are not innocent that go into these facilities. Okay, it's not that type of facility where they've been arrested and then they have to stay in. There's multiple reasons to have gates closed and barbed wire. It's also probably safety as an expat, safety for the employees. They've got workers and social workers there. People donate money. Oh, they also said there was a misappropriation of funds, is the other thing listed in the articles. But the whole thing is that I believe that also these kids try to go out in the middle of the night. They don't want to be told no. So if he's strict and he's got the pastor way and he tells them no, them kids are going to be pissed off as hell.
well, when it first happened, here's the weird thing, and I thought it was weirdly weird because Heidi mentioned barbed wire. According to the records, one of the violations he did was the fence on the top had military wire, and I'm like in my
It's
head
all
like,
over the Philippines.
well, first off, the kids are not going to climb over the fence try and get out, and if they are, they shouldn't. What I'm saying is the
But
barbed wire or military wire, as it were, is there so people don't break in the middle of the night and take crap. You know what I mean?
here's the thing though, is that we've seen other facilities. And I'm sorry, they also said it was dirty and that there were other things going on. And then I showed videos of where half these kids are coming from or families here in the Philippines are living. And it's like, I was talking about, wow, are you kidding me right now? The pot calling the other kettle black or something when a lot of those social workers go home. They're making less than $300-400 a month. And they're probably living in neighborhoods like ours up the street. No bullshit. And it's because and overcrowded. They probably got their kids living with them, their son-in-laws living with them, overcrowded. It's just strange. It's strange for me. And until you actually live here and know what's going on, or been down to the Abacan Bridge, or see what Banana Man is dealing with, holy shit. Do they go down there and take any of their goddamn kids? Girls working on a walking street, their husbands know they're doing it. That's how some of them get knocked up, still married. And a section of those kids down there are mixed Amresians and mixed kids down there that had kids left behind. And did they go down when these kids have no diapers on and head lice that's eating half the hair off their head and take them away? No. So that's what I don't get. I don't get where they don't pick these kids up that are walking down the street that are 5 and 6 years old with no clothes, no shoes, or no nothing, and they do this to a facility. I don't. I mean, maybe you as a Filipino, something. I'm just going by like what's
Well, see, that's the thing. Being Filipino has nothing to do with a lot of things that they accuse him with. First off, again, like I said, the barbed wire is one of the accusations. Now, the cleanliness. No, I'm not saying it's clean because I'm going to tell you right now.
nothing seems clean no matter how much you clean it.
Correct. First off, daycares or in this case, adoption centers. I'm going to tell you right now, it will never, ever, ever be clean. Ever.
That's what I told
Fact.
them here. I go even
And
just based on the cats. no
And it's
matter how
not an
much I
opinion.
clean.
It's a fact. I don't care what daycare you go to. Get a baby wipe. Go to a random corner and wipe that baby wipe. It's not gonna be clean. because you can't keep it clean because it's non-stop action with kids going in and out, in
Oh,
and
well, we're
out.
not talking about a diaper wipe test. We're just talking
What I'm
the
saying is,
Philippines.
it's well, what I'm saying is, even in the
Yeah,
U.S., it's never. Again, I'm not trying to put
it
fear.
shouldn't be enough.
What I'm
If
saying
the man
is,
was trying to run the facility with just his wife and hired in a few people, like in my imagination, that's how it would have been done. Then, then I would say, okay, he's overwhelmed and they need more staff and all that. But he has the ratio in the people there. That's just it. The man, well, I can't see
well,
it anymore.
I'm
I
not.
read it
I'm not gonna
earlier.
say much about this current situation, but here's what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is all of a sudden
But yes, we
be
already covered Mommy Hay.
there's gonna be a new adoption center coming up soon. Just saying. That's my prediction.
Mm,
Is there's gonna be a new adoption center coming up
run by
soon.
Filipinos, I'm assuming.
Probably, yeah. And again, I'm
Somebody
not.
else wanted the work, just like if you open up a hog farm. Like if we opened up right now and I did my bacon, candles, and wine baskets, I guarantee in less than a month they'll borrow money from every family member and get a bank loan to start a business, and they'll do it almost exact copy.
Well, actually, no, not in this case, because this is.
You think it?
I really can't say much. That tells you something. You know what I'm saying?
So basically, you're saying, as somebody said yesterday, that this is all dealing with the Philippine government and it's a jealousy thing, and they're just going to open a facility because this guy was getting something done.
Well, somebody already
And
has the idea of, and that somebody probably allegedly has the resources to do so.
you think it's a political person doing it? Anyways,
Allegedly, in my opinion.
would you think somebody's going to swoop down and come get you or something?
I'm not worried about me.
Me?
Yeah.
Shit,
don't want
I ain't
nothing
worried.
to
What the
happen
hell are
to
you talking about? You just, I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm sorry because I'm talking about something that's in the freaking news. I'm not out there putting a vote in or something. I'm not up there protesting, and it doesn't matter. Nobody gives a shit about this live stream. Are you kidding me? And even if they fucking do, I'm ready to go. What the hell? I'm about today, man. Yes, we already talked about, we did a whole live stream on Mommy Hay.
You ain't right. She she got a Phil M named Ace.
It does look like Ace, right? Yeah.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Hey, what's going on, Bear? How are you doing, Bear,
Yeah,
in the
it's horrible.
Philippines?
It's horrible. It's reputation damaging. It could ruin somebody's life. You should never ever do that to anybody.
Like I said, I was molested in a church by another kid in 1981 and not by my pastor, but I don't trust pastors. Yeah, but it doesn't make them all bad. I get that it happens a lot, but it happens with school teachers. It happens with neighbors. Matter of fact, I just seen one that was in the United States, Los Angeles. It came off. It's weird. What do you mean? So can H and G live in Mexico and Pampanga? No, Mexico. We
No,
are
no, no.
living.
Mexico.
I get that. And I think he's
Well, either way, both. Yeah, we can.
Pampanga is the area.
Yeah, we can.
Mexico is in Pampanga, but Mexico is nearby. I mean, yes, why not? But anyway, so the facility goes that the woman or the girl for 4 years was being, we'll call it raped, by a female. A lot of people are surprised that females can do that to their foster kids. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Well, see,
Dad or mother or whatever.
thing.
It does happen.
Right.
You never know.
Sexuality or religion has no
What is
bearing
with these
on
kids today?
right. Has no bearing on whatever their behavior is, whether they're
And
imams, priests, nuns, churchgoers, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Christians,
Correct.
Jews. So it really isn't
There's bad people everywhere.
correct. Just like what countries they come from, people are people at the end of the day. What costume they have on doesn't really change. They're bad people. There are bad people everywhere. So I just don't get the feeling from all that the man has done. I just had the statistics. He's been here since '04 or something. He came here as a missionary and he's done nothing but charity. Does that mean he couldn't have done any wrongdoing over the years? No, but I do hear he's strict. Okay. So the kids are pissed off. Have you guys seen foster care in the US, how bad that is? If they get a hold of your kids, you're screwed.
No, the toolful thing. That's actually a good point. Like I said, I have to say this, but maybe this needs to get toolful. Now the problem with that, I'm not picking on anybody or anything like that.
And thank you again.
That's a good point. We'll probably contact Toefo after this. Here's the thing. If you get swatted in the Philippines, it's not like the US. In the US, all it needs is a phone call. Here, you don't get swatted in the Philippines. When you get swatted in the Philippines, that means it's somebody who has power. So what I'm saying is,
Somebody.
it's very good chance Toefo's not going to touch this because one, it's not his territory. He's out of his area. Two, if it's another political power, he's not going to touch it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, just saying.
Yeah, it's yes. If they did that, they were absolutely the other. Let me bring this up here. I can't do both. I can't run this and look things up. Do you want to try to go through these here? I'm trying not to.
Oh, let's see.
Well, you can put them up on screen while I look for this here.
No, that's not what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, already. Yeah.
You already highlighted it?
Yes.
Oh, you did? This one?
Yeah, I already did. I did at the beginning.
Oh.
And I gave that to you so I can go through the statement that was just put out.
Bobby G says that doesn't sound like abused kids to me. Sounds sad and hurt they're taking him.
Yeah, the guy's Ruben Abante.
Don't see any deadbolts on doors, bars, windows. To lock
But there
kids,
is
do
to
you?
the front place, but you would do that anywhere in a third
It's
world
anywhere.
country.
It doesn't matter where
I'm
you're at.
sorry, the facilities. You guys got schools, don't they still put locks on the? Don't they still lock the doors down? I remember in the '90s they started doing that shit. I was like, why are they putting chains on the doors? When our kids were in high school, they started putting the chains and it was a fire hazard, and all the parents had a fit. But they still, as of when our kids were in school, now did they finally take those off? As I'm to understand, during school hours they were doing that.
No. I mean, here's the thing. The key word is they're
Yeah,
kids.
he's been a missionary. He came when he was 22 years ago. He's married to a Filipina.
Kids will do a lot of things, aka, for example, they sneak. Guys, so a lot of you have been parents and know that kids sneak out, and when you have like 100 kids in under your care, yeah, they're gonna try to sneak out. Now, how they're locked, I don't know, but of course they're gonna have bars and windows and stuff. It, of course. Also, again, everybody knows it doesn't matter. Facilities like this have stuff that you can steal. Whether or not the place has money or not, that's irrelevant because odds are they have computers and stuff like
No,
that
they do.
that they
do
can steal.
schooling there,
Right.
yeah.
You know. Again,
Bannon Man an hour ago, along with Michael Onstad and a bunch of other people attached, after working in charity for over 42 years, which he has, it says, I know that at the end of the day, character is how you treat others that can do nothing for you. And I'm telling you, these are men that are hardcore. Bannon Man that backs him 100%, plus the world's strongest man and all that shit, have been backing this man along with people we know, and people from our group have sent money to both facilities, and it just blows my mind that it's it just blows my mind. And if you guys go and look at our Facebook, the stuff that we have forwarded, that's where these kids start from, and it's just crazy.
yeah, Sperlin. No, he has a standard CCTV system. Nothing special.
Yes, they're everywhere. The cameras are all over the facility on top of that. No, what this is the accusation of misappropriated funds. They're going to do the same. They're going to funnel their own funds. And yes, you're right. That's kind of getting political, what somebody else plans to do. The place is being run too perfect right now. And somebody else sees an opportunity. So until George joined, that's pretty much what we're saying.
Okay,
An
well, okay.
opportunity is there for somebody
Now,
else.
now, opportunity is a very good word. The reason why I'm saying is, here's the thing. It's kind of detrimental and non-detrimental. The question is who you're dealing with. For example, okay. For example, you have security cameras around your house nonstop, every freaking room.
I
Okay,
do.
other than
watch
the
George.
restroom, of course. But anyway, and then let's say you hired a maid or something, and they go in your house and whatever. Now, this is a stupid example. I'm just making things. I'm just oversimplifying things. So let's say the maid says, "Oh, he raped me, whatever," and obviously it's a false accusation. And then let's say that maid knows somebody of power, and they swoop in, they SWAT you, they come in, and then they come out, right? They take your CCTV footage and everything, and then you're in your head like, "Oh, I'm good. I have CCTV footage of everything. Nothing happened." Well, guess what? Here's the thing. Whoever swatted you, they can go like, "There's missing footage. The footage has been deleted."
Oh, don't get me going.
Point being is, it doesn't matter what you have. It's a question of who you're up against. So in your head, you're like, "Oh, I'm good. I have footage." Guess what? They can just say, "You deleted the footage." What are you gonna do? There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, they can do that.
There's nothing you can do. Now, again, I'm not
No, his
accusing anything.
reputation is done tarnished. Even if
Well,
they
it doesn't
turn
matter
him
whether,
loose,
he's
it's
innocent, whether he's innocent or guilty. Doesn't matter at this point. Correct.
And already I told them that when this came out, even before we hit it within a 24-hour period, that dumbass American, the same one that kept covering false accusations just to do content,
Well,
he came out and said that he's
anybody can
raping
give
kids
anybody
already.
can give false accusations, and actually a cop told me that, and he told me, like, listen, anybody can accuse you of anything.
I'm talking about another vlogger
I
said that this was about him touching the
right, but
kids.
what
That is
that's
beyond false.
right. My point is, again, anybody can accuse you of anything.
Hey,
However,
Black
be
Grandpa.
aware that you can fight
Good
and
morning,
then you can
Mary.
get out. But here's the thing:
It still
anybody can
knocks the wind
accuse
out of
you of
you.
anything.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. Hey, Scott, how you doing, man?
Is
Scott
DSWD
Nyers
versus
as
the
well.
pastor expat? He needs to lawyer. Well, yeah, of course. You got to understand, there's a lot of powerful people on the side. Probably not enough, but yes, of course. And I'm sure the funds are there.
That's the thing. If they swatted him, it's one thing if the SWD just shows up.
Well, at least people are trying to deal with them right now. I had shown some stuff.
Yeah, now it's
about
possible that he can get out of this only because it's very public right now. So there's a chance. He's still There's still a chance for him. Yes.
And like I said, it's they said it was a few children. So I said, why didn't they bring these children? I get they don't want to, but they should have got other caseworkers and attorneys and other people involved. There's still a lay of the law. That's why I believe now what George just brought forward is that there's something else going on under the table that it doesn't matter. So it's normal for the police not letting the suspect know that they're coming in case they decide to jump. Not an entire squad. Not if it wasn't. That would have been an overkill for what's being charged because they didn't. They no.
No,
Not
it's
for a few
it's
kids
overkill.
and,
Yes, only because it's kind of like this. It's normally okay in the U.S. Do they SWAT somebody? Okay, again, even if it was confirmed abuse, do they SWAT people? No, they don't.
They wouldn't have done that.
And that's what I've been trying to say is there's something else going on. You know what I'm saying?
Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
Yeah, his story's done.
Well, 1417D. Now,
Hey, good morning.
it's in his position, yes. It's good
Thank
idea
you.
to have a lawyer on retainer, yes.
Oh, and I'm sure he did. So does Bannon Man. Bannon Man has been doing charity forever. Feeds the kids twice a day, rain, shine. He is an angel, and he's been accused of several things.
well, actually,
And he's had to attain. We have lawyers on retainer
now here,
just for the simplest thing because I'm an expat in the Philippines. Doesn't matter if we stop the YouTube channel tomorrow. It's still a good idea, guys. It really is.
now this is a fact. I don't know. I don't remember the guy's name or the place where he won. He there's this multimillionaire. He's a multimillionaire in the U.S. Okay,
Yeah, so it's Tony. Tony
right.
always going to have one. He's saying the whole time. He kept asking yesterday about trafficking, but it's Tony. So we'll take that with a grain of salt.
All right. So there's this multimillionaire in the U.S.
Good morning, Tony.
It's relevant, but
Good morning.
irrelevant at the same time.
Say hi to Victoria.
Hi, Victoria. Okay. So there's this multimillionaire in the U.S. He owned a $70 million business. So point being, he was very rich. Everybody who knows him, he's a nice guy. And you look at the guy, you can tell he's a nice guy. Now, he won the lotto, and he won $100 million. Okay, but here's the problem: in that state, you can't stay anonymous. The moment you win the lotto,
Yeah,
you get published.
right.
And guess what happened? This guy is really nice. What he does is he donates millions of dollars to charities on a regular basis. So he's that kind of nice guy. And, he gives away anybody who knows him, they'll tell he's a really nice guy. But guess what? The moment he won the lotto, everybody came out of the woodworks and started suing him.
That or, yeah, the accusation.
Correct.
somehow,
Accusation.
So,
And he said that he paid $3 million alone just to fight these accusations. Point being is no good deed goes unpunished, and it's just sad. It's really sad. The world we live in. This is the kind of world we live in, where people try to do good, like this expat, and then he gets targeted.
the charges are of different types of abuse, saying they're being locked down, physical abuse, mental abuse. And he's not in there by himself. There's teachers, there's assistants, there's daycare people, there's other other social workers that are there. There are regular visits, and in all those years, no accusations came up till recently. But it is recently that he's been building additional facilities, and the place is getting bigger. So that is for sure.
No, it's really sad. I mean,
Yeah, you're gonna have to lawyer up. That is for sure.
actually, that's not a bad. Okay, now the lawyer thing. It's not a bad idea to scope out lawyers in your area, and so that at least if anything happens, at least you have contact, or at least your Filipino should know. Like for example, okay, um, again, like if anything happens as far as legality goes, I know who to contact. But your Filipino or Filipina that you have with you may not, so you might want to check that out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not. It could be anything. I mean, it could be like, for example, a fender bender or anything like that. It could be anything. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure you know somebody. You know what I'm saying? For example, now those somebodies, it depends on. Okay, you have to be aware on who these people are. I know people in somewhat high places, mid places, and low places. I'm trying to stay away from the low places for obvious reasons, but the only reasons why I know them because I didn't know. So that's another thing. You don't know who these people are unless you actually dig deep into it. So yeah, just be careful out there, guys. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Okay, I'm not gonna name any names. The point being is when we first moved here, I'm friendly to everybody and I talk to everybody. And I befriended one of these guys. And he's friendly and nice, but until I talk to other people and they say, hey, stay away from that guy. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, the low people, they're just people like you and me. and you don't know up until you know it. I hate to say it, that's how it works. That's why it's important for you to socialize and don't lock yourself in your house. Fact. Or if you are that kind of person, at least make sure your Filipino or Filipina has your back.
Yeah, I know. I have to cut them in half. I said I can't take that much at once. The last
Oh well,
time.
that's what you told me to
There's
get.
the last time.
I was just going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and um, the laws here don't exact. Okay, guys. Again, I'm not. There's a lot of gray areas in the Philippines, and it's hard to know where to tread. It really is.
Once you know what, once you leave outside of your country, even in the
Even
U.S., you got to watch now on treading and stuff. There's a lot going on these days. But when you're in a third world country, especially where the rules are totally upside down and there's definitely more corruption and poor people and everything else, everybody's trying to get a cut. Everybody, I'm just going to, he may not say it, but I'm going to say it. Everybody is doing what they got to do to feed their family.
no, it's
I
fine.
mean,
Well,
it is what it is.
and this is coming from Filipino. Here's a good indicator of
Hi,
um
Google Bear.
what's
Hi,
that?
Google.
Here's a good indicator on where you're at. Okay.
Google came around the corner and the puppy's in the doghouse, and she was going to go in there. Our big cat just turned around. She
Right.
came and hissed at her.
Now, for example, parking is always somewhat like oh my gosh. That's why I don't like taking the car out. Usually I take out the e-trike. For example, here's a good indicator. There's these pharmacies I go to, of course, and pick up pharmaceutical products, aka medicine. Now, if I, for example, block somebody in because there's very limited parking, I'm not an asshole by any means. No, really. Anybody who'd meet me will tell you I'm not. But the point being is, sometimes I block people in, and there's reasons why. And then I park, okay, and then I go inside, take my medicine, whatever, and come out. And then I see the emergency lights on the car that I blocked. Okay. Here's your indicator. So I went out, got in my car, and left. No problems or whatever. The thing is, here's how it works. The reason why I blocked that guy is because he parked there and he wasn't in the freaking pharmacy. And he knows it. So guess what he did? He zipped him out, his mouth. He's like, oh crap, I got called out. He blocked me in. He knows I'm not in there because, like, guess what? I was in there. There's nobody in the freaking pharmacy, just me. So I was like, nobody's in here, so that means he legally parked. So I blocked him and I come out, and then the parking attendant goes like, I said, the guy's not even in the pharmacy. He says, yeah, I know. And then I, tipped the parking guy, and then I left. Now that's okay.
You've lost me.
No, no,
because
no. I know that. I know
I
that.
have
I know you
ADHD,
lost me, but that's the point. You guys
I'm on the
didn't
other side of the
notice
road right
or
now.
won't notice this. Here's the problem. If that happens to you and that guy comes out of his car and starts to make a scene,
I'm gonna throw my orange drink on.
get the frick out of there. Point being is,
Sorry.
that means he probably has some power and it could make life difficult for you. Point being is, don't.
You do, yeah. You just never know.
You
But that'd
don't.
be anywhere. You never know who you're gonna mess with. But here, you got to be even more
Well,
careful.
and then you have to pay attention to the car. If it has any government markings, whatever, or if the plate number is like within 10 digits, I mean 2 digits. Sorry, that's what I mean. 2 digits. If the plate is 2-digit number, do not block that freaking car. That means it's somebody with power. Do not f with anybody with a plate number with 2 or less digits on their plate name on their plate tag. Fact, do not mess with them. For example, I believe 01 is the president. I'm not sure, but point being is that's how it works. And then anyway, I have to wonder who benefits from putting all this negative attention.
Yeah. And you already said
I
there's about as
no.
much as he wants to say. So
Well, again, I'm not sure if you heard
I'm
me,
about
Sarah.
being about it because I don't think anybody's going
It,
to come knock on my door and say, Heidi, you talked about that subject that's in all the newspapers and Facebook. So therefore, I got to throw you out of the country too. It's like, bye, bitch. That's exactly what'll happen. It ain't death to me, and I've lived a good life. But George, on the other hand, is going to be a little bit more politically correct. And he's seen a lot of shit in his time, but especially here in the Philippines. Let me tell you what, the Philippines that these kids are going through now is not George's Philippines or his mother's Philippines. It was a whole different life back then, where based on smoking a joint could have got you unalive. So I mean, it's kind of but I think there's some other things going on. If I had to guess, just like he said, I didn't think of that angle. I figured it was just some jealousy and people's poems weren't being greased. But to think that now that he's getting bigger as a facility and the incoming funds, somebody else wants a part of it, the same as a
they want
business.
that slot, and it's
And
somebody who has that power.
mhm. So
So,
did you ever find out why they're delaying the barangay elections? They're being delayed by several months. It's not the rain. They put that off. Did you see anything in the paper? Or I say paper. You can't talk about that either.
actually, I'm gonna be. I'm mostly honest with you guys. If I don't know, I'll tell you. I don't.
And
That's my answer. I'll have to look into it. I'm not omnipotent. I have to talk to people for me to find out. I mean, I'll ask around.
you were omnipotent last night.
What? Omnipotent? Damn, girl. A little dark there.
Oh, you said something else. My
Wow.
ears are closed with wax this morning. Sorry. Like a tiger. Is that better?
Right?
Boom, like a tiger.
Actually, Schulman makes a good point. It's Schulman says, as an expat, when I get involved in charitable food donations or financial contributions, I am never the face publicly. I keep a very low profile, and let my wife take the lead. Okay,
We
well,
do with George a lot. Besides me being on this channel, um, George does tend to do some of the bigger things. I think it's kind of crazy how some other expats do a lot of stuff publicly. I was telling you guys yesterday, you guys aren't seeing us do half our charity. Just recently, although I told you guys about it, we gave away a couple bags of rice and money and candy and a bunch of other things. Now, I'll let you know for the last 72 hours, we've been bombarded with other kids and other people coming by. They talk. And so there's been additional people that have come over. But the bigger stuff where we give away to the dog shelter or refer people to Noah's Ark shelter or some of the others, we do undercover. And
well,
so
we don't put it on the camera.
mhm,
There's a lot of stuff we don't put on camera because it's somewhat degrading. It
we've done
really
some of
is.
it, but that's low end stuff that we've done. Or when you guys were coming around to the Christmas
Or
season,
if we're looking for a reaction, for example, when we gave pizza to the kids.
that was funny. They did not want that
I
pizza.
I actually I did tell Heidi. I said, just so you know, they're gonna want Filipino pizza.
And yeah, we had spent X amount of money when
Pizza
we
Hut.
got
Yeah.
money from people and the kids. You guys should have seen the video. The kids stacked like 4 or 5 pieces, and the kid was all excited. And afterwards, he just didn't really.
No,
The other
he,
kids didn't want it, but
they didn't want it because they wanted Filipino pizza. They want that squishy, spongy pizza.
yeah, it just
So, and I did warn Heidi. I said, just so you know, they want Filipino pizza.
yeah.
Point being
So,
is, it doesn't mean it's something that you want that other people will want it.
but you do,
You
in a
have to
sense,
adjust.
still
Yeah.
have to hear. I'm just really surprised at the expats or Filipinos that still show how much wealth they have and why they keep showing it. And then people 100% know their locations. And I also don't get the ones that are doing these live streams and showing their business transactions, the CCTV Filipinos, the expat Filipinos. There's a guy in Manila that is showing his food stand being run. Seems to be he's either Italian or Middle Eastern, and he shows his constant transactions. That would still tell somebody that you're making money all day, and then you could get jumped later. I don't get it, but it shows constant flow of business to these places, and there's been more brazen crimes like that here lately, as far as people going into stores and robbing, and so you just got to be careful of everything you're showing. So Victoria said the fact, the way those children are crying upset makes me think that something's not adding up. Yeah, and we know these people, and we know the people that back them up. And now you've got this other big priest that's coming up on priest or pastor that's backing him up. And it does show recently that he's also sitting down talking with the police and everything himself. So um, we have reposted quite a few things and wanted to do this update today because, yeah,
Yeah, like I says, that's how you do it. Keep a low profile. If possible, do so. For example, the reason being is because it's bad enough. Okay, when I say it's bad enough that a Filipino is doing it, what I'm saying is, for example, when I show up, like I said, like one time again, true story, and I've said this on the live before. One time I went over to just buy some food in a Carinderia because I'm that kind of guy, just because I support local. I went to the Carinderia, and next thing well, actually, I brought some kids over to buy them food because they were like asking for money. I said, "Why are you asking for money? Are you hungry?" They said, "Yes." I said, "Okay." And then we go to Carinderia, and then when I was at the Carinderia, this guy who showed up, I get it, he's an older gentleman, and I get it. However, I can see he has money. Literally, he was clutching his money. Okay, and point I'm trying to make is, I'm Filipino. I'm bringing these kids to buy some food. Okay, and then the lady
got a menu
volunteered
for you.
me to buy food for the gentleman standing next to me who's clutching money, and he says, "Oh, this guy will take care of you. He'll pay for your food." I'm
This
like,
will happen.
"What the freak?" In my head, like, what the freak? I'm just buying food for these kids, and now I'm volunteered
But
to buy this
also,
stranger who's clutching money.
correct. So another thing about George is he gives off the OFW vibes, and when he's with me, he speaks the perfect English. So it makes people think on
Well, I
top
don't
of
speak
it.
English when I'm out there, but
I know, but still, you dress
point
like an
being is,
OFW.
I'm not picking on anybody, but what I'm saying is, if you do send out your Filipino partner to do these stuff, be aware they can be a target too for that kind of behavior.
Which I've seen a good video where Paul Old Dog New Tricks that we watch, and I've heard Sunshine touch on this topic. Why is it you're seeing all these Filipinos with money, and there are some out here with money?
Oh
I'll
my
tell you
God!
that.
Don't get me
Why
started.
is it the expats
Don't get
pay?
me started. Oh my
Why
God!
is the expats paying every
Oh my
time?
gosh!
It's like,
Are you kidding me?
you'll see them where they pay for the plane tickets to go to Boracay, and then they want the whole family to go and they pay for it, and then in the end they don't even want to pay for the lunch. It, to me, whether I sound like an asshole or not, it's like a given that the Filipinos are to be paid for by the expats, or it's just where it is. And so I keep like seeing this. I'm gonna let you see this real quick. This is another.
Look, Mom.
And you want, yeah, don't give her potato chips. And he speaks the full language. Good for him. So, is I'm to understand, we're watching a video that we will repost also to our Facebook. That it is children that are coming from abused families and squatter families. Kids are living on the street. They're sexually abused. They've been working the streets. They could have been. Some of these are coming in that are just bar girls that are. Here's something that I said yesterday that politically probably would get me in trouble. They know about these 12-year-olds on Walking Street. They know these bars are hiring these people. They know these guys are down here unlicensed and not paying the taxes properly at different businesses all over this area, but they don't go in and enforce certain things in other areas. It just doesn't make any sense. To me, if you've got a 12-year-old working at your facility, DSWD should be down there every day investigating with SWAT teams. Do they bring the SWATs in when they go into some of those facilities? Not always.
No, well, that's the thing. It's kind of like the U.S. Does the SWAT come in whenever DCF comes in? No, it's power. Did kids hit it? Yes, it did. No, for example, that's what Heidi's saying is whenever DCF comes into a home or facility, does SWAT come in? No, not usually. Back. Same thing in the Philippines. Again, a phone call does not. You don't get SWAT in the Philippines with a phone call. That's not an ordinary person. That's my point. You do not get swatted.
That's the weird part. Yeah, I'm telling George not to feed the dog potato chips, and I fed her some last week.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, those barbecue ones you were eating. They were on the table. I walked by and I was too lazy to go get her a bone, so I threw her a piece of barbecue chip. Yeah, you say hi, Mary. Here's that puppy. Oh, pet that dog. Does she stink?
No.
Doing the sheets this morning. No, I was sitting there this morning doing the sheets. George is half asleep, talking about going out and getting some stuff done. Landlord comes, and I'm in the middle of doing a 500,000 freaking things, and I'm like, no, I just seen the update where another pastor came forward, wanted to update you guys. Then did I mention the no audio thing? Neighbors moving out, pets tearing everything up, and now they just kicked the. Let's not forget that because the deep freezer's there and it's full of vegetables and chicken. I don't want.
Oh, should I get up then?
Well, I doubt it goes. You can if you. Careful. Here.
Oh.
Well, I'm just giving you where you don't have to trip on that. Well, you don't have to go in front of me either.
Oh.
Never mind, Georgia. How long is that cable? Go up on.
That's all right. I'm not as nimble, but I'm not that.
It's back right here. You have to put this here, right here. Put that down on the floor. Yeah, just set it down, and then go to the back side. You could see it.
Yeah,
Man, they've been monsters today. And it's been
There's nothing protecting it. I just set that up for you.
Yeah, but there was other stuff under there, and it was the way the wire was, and I forgot what else got plugged in one day. There's only there's only so many cabinets and so many plugs in a house. It's unreal. So, what is the average cost of having a lawyer on retainer here?
You have an idea. I forgot the cost.
Well, we won't refer to which one that we have, but under 10,000 for us. That's just for them just to hold on to. So this is the unit. That's just that. That's not a.
Oh.
Yeah, is that full power on here? So you have to hit this up arrow, activate, because that's the UV
Yeah,
and
because it was
stuff.
really quiet. That's why I said.
Yeah, you couldn't figure out why the dehumidifier for the house, because we hang laundry up inside, not outside. Because to me, with all the rain, the clothes smell like wet dog and stuff. Probably because there's wet dogs nearby. But mostly it's just been raining so much, so we hang it up in the bathrooms. We have the 2 bathrooms here. Ours held on 10,000, about $200. So, and we were. I bet you a Filipino doesn't pay 10,000. So 10,000 pesos. 200 bucks. Because we've had one case, and we've had one case since we've actually been here.
That's a good question. Lucas says, "Is there an American?"
Yeah, you said
community?
10, 12,000. Okay, it says right here 10, 12,000.
Yeah.
Ours was 10 here.
Yeah, like I says, is there an American community in the Philippines just like the Chinese communities? Or is it a bad idea? What do you think? I have an
What is
answer.
it? What's that?
Is there an American community here?
Of course, they're everywhere.
No,
I
no, no,
mean,
no, no. No, 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 no. What she's saying is there an American community?
I hear what you say, and I don't want to be around those people.
That's my point. What I'm saying, okay.
A lot of times, a lot of the people here, don't get me wrong, there are good people here. It's just over the last couple years and since the pandemic, a lot of them are toxic here or broke or psychological issues or they're looking to borrow money or they don't listen. They're Filipinos, do them in or they won't listen and then they, people got in a relationship, it's got to be a two-way street. A lot of times they're not two ways here. So, in other words, it's a one-way street. They're wanting to borrow money. They're wanting to, sit
Yeah.
around and
Okay.
complain, and
Now I'm gonna say
it's not
something.
really a friendship. But they do have the VFW, where like the those expats that are military and in camaraderie. You got the biking groups, the bowling people, the dart people, and
Okay.
those people
Okay. Now
exist.
that's a community. Now, okay. I'm gonna be honest with you, and the ones expats, I'm gonna say something about this. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna agree with me, whether or not you'll agree with me in the down low, which probably you will. Here's the reality with American communities in the Philippines. I'm specifically
Gotcha.
talking about the Philippines. American communities here, do they exist? Yes, but not what you think. For example, the best way to explain it is they exist in cliques, like Heidi just said. There's biker groups, that's their own community.
There's the one
Um,
in Dumaguete for real, where it's a bunch of old
some of them,
dudes with the young
some of them,
girls. They have
some
these
of them have their
parties for
own community,
dating, and
right?
yeah,
Like there's
the older single
there's the bar
guys.
community, which again they have their
Mhm.
own little group. Now, if you're not in that group, they don't give a shit about you.
No, that is true. That, like I said, there is, and there's nothing wrong with like the groups that are in certain areas that I just mentioned. It's literally older guys
Right.
looking to
So
date
what I'm
these
saying
younger
is,
women, the
unless
sisters
this
of the
guy is part
single,
of any of those groups, I'm going to be honest with you, he probably isn't. Because
and I really don't fit because I mean,
so right, he probably doesn't fit in those niches.
yeah, because I don't want to get into a
So
group of just playing
right,
darts
and
or
that's what I'm getting
just
at is
bowling.
be
And
aware that there's the best way to explain it is
I
clicks.
didn't come here to do darts and bowling. It's
Correct.
I seen someone the other day. I was telling them yesterday that being home is my thing. I don't give a shit if people are like, oh, well, you don't leave the house, so how can you know about the Philippines? And it's like, shit, I wouldn't be leaving the house in the U.S. That's always been me. I work, raise kids, I cook and clean, and that's most of my day. Do we go out? The answer is yes, but it's like, you know, you don't always have to get into a clique here and everything. I think there are some people that are constantly active, like George. That's why he goes out and does different things. And, everybody will find their situation when they get here, but life pretty much stays the same when you get here. A lot of people are expecting it to uplift them and change their lives you're just in a different area. You're still the same person. It doesn't change a whole lot on that situation. Just read through some of the comments. Yeah, because that's what Lucka was saying. Yeah. Or is it bad? No, I mean, like I said, the communities are not bad. So but you just have to watch because, you know, the best people do not arrive in the Philippines and Southeast Asia. Some are running from problems, some have the mental issues, some have different things. That's just being honest. And what I have found is you get a lot of toxicity here in the
Well,
Philippines.
also,
Thailand, it happens too. I keep hearing a bunch about Thailand, but it just seems like the Philippines has got something crawling behind them.
also this is somewhat probably against what people believe. Okay, the reality is now, for example, me. Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of people who's actually met me in person won't say anything bad about me because I'm not a bad guy. But here's the thing: if I don't agree with you, I won't agree with you. What I'm saying is, beware of people that when you meet them, everything's freaking perfect.
Oh, hell yeah, I've been saying that for a long time.
When you talk to somebody and everything's perfect, and they agree with everything you say,
life is so perfect.
be
That's why we
careful.
talk about those
Be
YouTube
very
channels,
careful. when somebody has a silver tongue, odds are there's a reason why he's got a silver tongue or she has a silver tongue. They want something from you. For example, me again, I don't usually say things that go against the grain unless it's something I really don't believe in, and I'll do this in the live, even going against Heidi. Okay, even at the risk of me and Heidi, fighting.
Fighting for the
True.
rest of the day. I told you.
Right? No, true. Sorry, no.
Or as I told you
I won't.
guys,
I
I get
won't.
ignored for a few days.
No, I will argue with Heidi or whoever I deal with
You
if
can always
it's
tell before a live
if it's
stream
something
and
I don't
after.
believe in. But point being is be aware of the ones that always agree with you. So now the reason why I'm bringing this up is what happened to this foreigner. In all probability, somebody approached him of this kind of caliber, and then he didn't see it until it's too late. Because usually it's people who you know that do this to you, not some stranger.
More than likely, it was someone on the inside, one of the regular expats, or
Correct. It's
one of
either an
the
expat or another Filipino who has
Filipinos came
power.
in.
Right.
Yes. So I told them on my Saturday live stream by myself for Thursday I was going to cover traits of a Filipino and as an expat, probably get into a whole thing because I'm now realizing, like George already knows about Americans. It really just hit me the other day about Filipinos. It really did. It is a Southeast Asian situation. And I thought I was alone. They wrote whole books on this shit. And so I guess it's that list that I sent you through your messenger.
The medicine.
No, list the traits of Southeast Asians or Filipinos, and it kind of describes if expats that are coming here to marry Filipinas or date or be with the culture or be here in the Philippines should understand that this might be a norm. Now, if I would have set myself to say until a few days ago, I was like, wait a minute, I thought that was just an individual thing. I thought George was just an asshole. And it's just like I just thought it was just, but no, I'm noticing the longer I'm here, this tends to be traits. And then whammo, there's books and everything else on the way Southeast Asians act. And but I'll do the live stream on my own because I don't want to piss you off. See the look on the face.
Well, I guess it's cultural. I guess that's what you're trying to
I
say.
don't know if it's cultural as much as it is, but here's the thing. I think the biggest thing with expats or like for us is communication. And I think the communication, I thought it was you as a person, but I don't think it's you. I think it's you as a country or you as a section of the globe.
Okay, I'm not.
Because we like to be whammo like this. We want to communicate. We want things resolved.
Okay.
We want to be on time.
Actually,
we want to be like this.
Heidi somewhat makes a good point, and what I'm saying is,
That's just So I'm sure they wrote books about me.
well, here's the reality, and a lot of Westerners. Okay, again, and I do say this: it's not about you. Most of the time, when an Asian person, including Filipinos, it's not about you.
I mean, hold on.
For example, when
Does any of those look familiar?
now
He doesn't want to say.
now for example, well, it's not that. It's kind of relevant. It's not like I don't know.
So you would agree that Filipinos have
I'm
a lot of these traits?
I'm again in the middle of saying stuff that's somewhat again related to that. I just said it's not about you. And what I'm saying is whether or not whoever you're dealing with in the Philippines, if they're really nice to you, it's not because you're handsome or beautiful or anything like that. No, because they're just nice. Or if they hate you, it's not because you're a mean or an asshole. Not necessarily. It's because they're just assholes.
Okay, it's pretty much about as cut and dry as I can actually see it.
No,
I don't trust
fact.
nobody,
Fact. This is fact.
especially
What-
here.
And I'm not, again, obviously, I'm not sugarcoating anything. If a Filipino mistreats you like gold, it's not because you're made of gold. No. And if a Filipino treats you like shit, it's not because you're made of shit. No, it's because that person is that person and has nothing to do with you. Remember, Don Miguel Ruiz for agreements. What I'm saying is, people treat you because that's what they are. So when you
Yeah,
when
but
you
it's also a learned trait
no,
that they learn
I
from their
know
parents, and
that,
it
but
passes down
I
because a
know that, but
lot.
what I'm saying is you can't. I'm not disagreeing with Heidi as far as these traits are.
But
What I'm saying is the traits are not all in every Filipino. There's certain
correct, I didn't
traits
say
that are in certain
everybody.
Filipinos. Some are more asshole, some are more nicer.
Yeah, the reason so is I was watching the UK 90 Days, and 3 of them are Asian, and they pretty much are all doing the same thing.
Okay, no, well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Same
Now, that's
traits
what I'm saying.
of looking down their nose, the same traits
Right,
of being
and
cold as ice, the same.
that's what I'm saying.
And I'm like, shit, man, you was just shitting in a pot 3 days ago.
Not
What are you talking
necessarily
about?
everybody's like that. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, me, and again, I'm not patting myself on the back.
Are all
I'm not
Asians
your
that way?
I'm not your typical Asian, and anybody who's met me will agree with me on that one because again, I break that mold. But what I'm saying is, don't put everybody in a box, but be aware that when some people treat you like shit, that has most of the time has nothing to do with you. And if somebody
No,
treats you
it's
like
their bad
gold,
attitude. Like when I have a bad
right?
attitude for the
It's
day.
if
No, and
people
the
are assholes,
Filipina
they're
can have.
assholes,
No, I
and
got
you have
that.
to
Yeah.
accept that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't listen to us or Sunshine or Geo when they say a bunch of different things, and then you go there with an attitude to your Filipino, and it's like you're waiting for him to do that stuff. You can't be like that either. That person may not have any of those traits. We have Persian cats, and when they act wild, we put them in timeout, different rooms, and shut the door. You know, we have the back porch officially cleaned off as a laundry room, and I thought about that. And we have an extra bedroom upstairs, and I thought about that. And then we have so many of them, the rest of them are behaving. We did do that at one point. Remember when we had to put mommy cat and the kittens up there because one of the other cats didn't like them in the beginning? And then we had to put Bella in a timeout by herself because she was, and I just seen it the other day. It's the one where you did your Pringle pants and you did your Tupac dance, and we had the pee pads on the couch, and it was because it was for the cats. It wasn't for me, dumbasses. And I'm like, that's why they said those pee pads were for me. And I said, that was for the freaking cats. Bella, when we got the dog, and got one of the new cats, she started acting out. So she would just randomly go pee on the bed, and she peed on the couch a few times, but always in the same spot here on the couch. So we started laying down like cat pads. We have these charcoal or blue pads that look like pee pads, and we had to lock her upstairs because she was just swinging at the other cats and everything else. So we've done timeouts, and we even thought about getting those like boxes where there's several levels in glass and sleep habits in there, like you'll see in some other houses in Japan and stuff, the cat houses. And we've got caged ones, and it just, I get it, but now with the 6 of them in the house, it kind of I don't know. It's like a certain moon or something here. Plug that in before you run out of juice. Yeah, it's not plugged in.
Oh, the tablet.
Yeah, you're liable to run out of juice. Thanks for hitting the thumbs up, and it'll make George feel better if you guys sign up for memberships. You can also give away free memberships. You can purchase, I think they're like $2 each, and it'll give it to a bunch of the watchers. We have over 130. We have over 130 videos that are anywhere from Florida to Mexico, and some of our beginning stuff that's been in membership for you guys. So George can afford donuts. Yeah, have some sugar. George has. I haven't.
Kid, that's for you.
Never claimed to
That's
been
not
to
for you.
Dumageddon, and have no intention to go to Dumageddon. It'd be the last place. The only
No
reason
kid.
I would ever consider it, and I would consider going other places, is I'd like to meet Paul and Baby May and a few of the vloggers that that we've seen over the years. But no. It's annoying when neighbors would bump into the store markets, would suddenly greet me, and then ask how my expat husband's loud enough for everyone to hear. I hate it because I lose my haggling power. No, it's a true story.
Yeah, no, they'll call you out.
I try not to go too many places by myself because they never put prices out on the table at these markets, and I don't want to be like that. And then you'll hear people say, well, if you can't afford to pay their prices, you shouldn't be in there. But for me, it's not about that.
What's the principle of it?
It's the principle. And what I heard the other day, and this is kind of off topic, is that there is somebody out in Boracay and they seem to be a foreigner. It's a foreigner and an American, and they're hiring somebody in for their kids. I don't know why their dumbasses showed photos of their kids on a public post to ask for this on an expat forum. I wouldn't have posted the photos of my light skinned kids that have blue eyes, and it was kind of wild. You would look for somebody local or try to find them another way, but they put it on an expat forum. What blew my mind was the cost. I was like, you cheap bastard, because they only wanted to pay $600 for 600 pesos a day. Now, 600 pesos to bring in a babysitter for a couple hours a day is the going rate. But I'm also thinking how cheap. But then it hit me all at once. Is like, why should we pay more? I've told you guys that before. I don't want to pay more than a Filipino does, and I know that's just the expectation. Bigger tips. I try to send George out if we order the groceries that come in, and it said average tip 20 pesos. That's nothing. That's like 25 cents. I think it's low, but that's what Filipinos pay or none at all. They don't pay tips when these things come in. And then you'll see where it goes up to a higher amount of average. I think it said it goes up to 40 and 50, and we do like 50 pesos. Sometimes we do 100, but I always send George out because like George said, if we keep doing the 50s and hundreds all the time on a 500 peso order, it could be too much. But
Well, I
I
do,
want to
I
pretty
do,
much,
I do get on Heidi's case. Heidi will tell you that.
yeah, on the 100 peso
Now,
tips.
now
It may
here's the
seem
thing.
cheap, but unfortunately
If
we can't
that's
get them
you're
used to
not
the
really
100.
supposed to do that.
Not on a 500
Now,
peso order, you don't give 100. It'd be like giving a 20, on a $40 order
right.
in the US.
Now here's the thing. The problem is
And
again,
Target.
and some of you will go against us only because we said that again. It's the principle of things, guys. Again, whether you agree with me or not, that's irrelevant. Here's the reality. When I say it's the principle of things, if the price, for example, again, like bananas, a kilo of bananas, 70 pesos. Okay, that's an example. That's the going rate right now. Well, actually, it's somewhat 70, 80. But point being, let's say it's 70. What I'm
Yeah, and you
saying
got to
is,
be careful because now
right.
some of the stores, when I
Oh,
went to order, it's
yeah,
142.
no, there's prices that are going up on vegetables. But anyway,
Yeah,
and
the
fruits.
prices at
Now,
fruit
now
and
here's
vegetables
the
going
thing.
up right now.
What I'm saying is,
It's really
some of
crazy.
you, to you, it's like, oh well, what do you mean principle things? You just can't afford it. That's not the point. Point being is, if the price of the bananas is 70 pesos, even if they charge you 80 pesos, well, for example, like because they see that you're better off, like me. Again, somehow Filipinos can tell I'm not your average Filipino.
It
But
costs us double when we go out. I'm
so
telling
they
you.
go like, oh, it's 80 pesos per kilo or 90 pesos or 100 pesos per kilo. I get it. It's 30 peso difference. Okay, you're in your head like, oh, you just
It's
can't
okay.
afford it. That's not the point. Point being is,
You done pissed me off.
no, it's not that. That means they don't have a standard, and if they don't have a standard, that means they will go behind your back and do whatever it takes. Point being, it's not your principle at that point; it's their principle. That means they don't have principles. That's the bottom line. Because if anybody with principles will say, "Well, it's 70 pesos," I don't care whether they're white, black, Caucasian, African American, doesn't matter.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like, oh, it's because
Muslim,
you're
Catholic, doesn't
American or
matter.
black.
70
No, they're
pesos
gonna.
is 70 pesos. Here it is. Done. That's the point. It's not about what you can afford or the next person. It's what's right, what's real is real. Fact.
Yeah, we do some though. He says I choose to stay anonymous, no videos. We could have put a lot more on. The only reason we've done the ones you've seen is because we told you guys we would, because we would take in so much money that came in through the month, or we said, hey, we're giving out these items. Can you believe it's almost the Christmas time, man? We're getting ready to go into
No,
Burma
no,
for
it
2
is. It's
weeks.
our. Oh,
Because this
Victoria.
is our 4th Christmas
Yeah,
here.
no, it's not pet cruelty because I'm eating a plain Boston cream donut. I'm not eating the pet donut.
We got those yesterday for the anniversary.
No,
And
Sarah says it's pet cruelty because they're pet. Well, this is a regular Boston cream. I grabbed the regular Boston cream.
Hey, that was mine. It had less sugar on it, dude.
Not anymore.
Right? So I'm allowing myself like
Actually,
3 times a
incorrect.
year.
It has a lot less sugar now. I did it for you. I took one for the team. Here you go.
I'll eat it after the live. Like a pig in private. Like a pig in private. Like a private pig. Let's see. Black Grandpa. I'm lucky my Filipino wife comes with one of the wealthiest and powerful families in the Philippines. And when I'm there, people outside in the circle avoid me like I have COVID. Well, George doesn't have the power, but his family is somewhat prominent. I mean, there are ties to some of the bigger families here, and they got the family home, and his brother's a doctor, and they're definitely an upper class family. As a matter of fact, when we was waiting, we've said this before, when we were waiting for our card to come in during COVID when the strip didn't work or whatever. We only had X amount to play with because we'd given a bunch of money away at different points during the bad weather in Florida. And we needed money to live on. We couldn't access the bank. We couldn't do anything at that point. We had no access to any of our banks. All of a sudden, they gave us money. And so, of course, we repaid and everything. But if it wasn't for them, we don't know. So it's always been his family that's come through. They're the one that gave him the used car at Christmas, what, 2 years ago, 3 years, 2 years ago? I think it's been 2 years now almost. So, and it's a cute little silver car, but we've been blessed, and they're not the ones. They're just different. It's his family. It was George that owned the business. It's his family that owns the houses in California and Florida, and so his family doesn't have any problems either. So not all Filipinos are broke and busted, but we don't have it like that. You would think just based on me being 6 foot tall and a couple 100 pounds, or 300 or 400 pounds, as they would say, looking that way. Anyways, just like someone the other day, the kid says, "Oh, you're about 60." It's like, oh, that's close enough. So old, big, they still don't have a problem with overcharging, or you would think they'd be worried, but they're not worried. They're actually, Filipinos are not. They're shy, but not shy. Like, the kids came back yesterday for a third time, and they were still asking me for stuff. Not nicely. Give me coffee. Give me cafe. Give me donuts. Give me money. I'm like, whoa. And I don't think it was missed words, because it's the way they were doing. They were kind of lunging at the gate. I'm like, whoa, take it easy, guys. They were looking for a hit of coffee, and these are like 6-year-olds. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not giving you coffee at like 8 a.m. No.
Yeah. Yesterday I gassed up the car. Oh, by the way, I don't know how much it is gas over there right now. Right now, yesterday I gassed up the car. Okay, I paid 1,000 pesos. For 1,000 pesos, I got
About
literally
$20.
4.5 gallons of gas. So how much is it right now over there? I'm asking you guys.
That's 4 gallons of gas.
4.5 gallons.
Yeah,
This-
gas is about $5 a gallon here, give or take. Yes, that's about
Right.
right.
So anyway, I gassed
But
up.
that's high for the Philippines, guys. That's 2 days' wages for a bank worker right now at 1,000
Yeah.
pesos. That's the crazy part.
So the guy was gassing up, right? Because here you're not allowed to pump your own gas. Gas attendants do it. Kind of like New Jersey. And then I said, "Could you please clean my windshield?" Because he's a new guy. Because I go to the same gas station. Do that. Always go to the same gas station. So, and then he's like, "Yes, sir." And then he cleaned my windshield, right? And then he stopped. And I said, "Could you please clean my rear windshield?" I said, "Yes, sir."
George just wanted
And
his rear
he cleaned
clean.
he cleaned the rear windshield, right? And then he was waiting for the payment for the gas. And I said, "Could you please clean my car?" You should have seen his face. He was like, it took him like 3 seconds, and then he started busting out laughing. It took him a while to figure out it was a joke, but anyway, he was like,
I'm not impressed.
"No, I gave him a good tip, but
You know what I realized? We probably got overcharged when we moved here 3 years ago. You know why?
why?"
Because they got a truck that was twice as big as ours and 3 people to move them for 4,000 pesos.
Which one are you talking about?
When we moved here, we hired that
I
truck.
know you're talking about these guys.
No, we hired tired of.
I know we did.
Fuck.
And
I'm
when you,
talking about next door.
that's what I said. You're talking about them.
Yeah, I just said that. I was getting to that. If you let me finish and repeat myself, the
Okay.
neighbors.
Yeah.
So the whole point is we paid $1,500 more 3 years ago. So prices should have went up by now, and they have been going up on different things. But it's probably because it's two Filipinos. I wasn't even around.
Well,
when we
you have to
negotiated
remember
that.
too. It's who you know.
I think we did use our Facebook.
They're more
thing, and so
they're
they
more
seen us
connected
both
than
on
we
Facebook.
are.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Our neighbors are officially moving out, and I don't know if they were remodeling their house or waiting for it to be finished.
It's being built. It was
Okay,
being
so
built.
they were actually building, and so yeah, so great neighbors through all of our fighting and
Although they're
all this other
it's
stuff
hard
and
for
us being
them though.
loud
'Cause
because we're up at like 3, 4 in the
here's the
morning
thing:
sometimes.
their kids are gonna.
Yeah, they've been going to school
No,
here.
that's the thing. They're going to, I guess, ride public transportation. I mean,
It's hard saying, yeah.
no, I already talked to them. They said they will. And, like, that's a little rough for them because they go to school here in Angeles, but they're out of. They're not even in Angeles anymore. They're in Tarlac.
What happens if the cat sees a cat donut? I don't know. They try to eat it.
They
As a matter
do.
of fact,
In fact, yeah,
they eat the donut.
they do.
So
They'll eat the donut.
it's weird. The older cats will not eat a lot of the people food anymore unless it's just straight chicken. Like a few of the cats won't even eat chicken. Like, what the hell? But the kittens that are now, baby girl is 6 months old, and the boys, they still eat just about anything. And so does Pigsy, the one with the bob tail. And but the adult cats don't eat people food that much. They'll come up and sniff it, but they're not like the other ones are crazy. But they'll eat the glazed donut, but the others won't touch stuff like that. And honestly, it's up to them if they want. Yeah, did you see there? It doesn't look like they've been munching on that. The barbecue stick.
Like a barbecue.
I know. It just smells like, I don't know. It
Hey,
wasn't.
okay. I'm not picking on the
Yeah, don't.
kids'
That's been on the
toy.
floor. I was gonna have you eat it initially.
It's well, I won't. The reason being is it smells like moldy cardboard.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Why do you keep sniffing it, dude? That's what your butt smells like. Tony says gas is $2.46.
A gallon.
What in Trump tits are you actually getting $2.46 in gas? In
Well,
which state?
It depends in what state.
That's not the Philippines.
No.
Where is gas $2.46?
Tony, where you at? Are you in Texas?
I doubt it.
No, I'm asking. The reason why I said Texas is because Texas has their own gas. Texas and Alaska, but anyway, I don't think you're in Alaska.
Alabama has gas from $2.77 to $3.23. Arkansas is at $2.74 to $3. Arizona is at $3. California is at 4.49 to 4.78.
Whoa,
Your gas is higher here than it is in California.
whoa.
What? You want the price? Or-
Yeah, the price.
What I'm saying is, what blows my mind is gas is more expensive here.
Well, because
Wages are $10 a day, and to get 2 gallons of gas, to
because
get
gas
you back
doesn't
and
have
forth.
its own oil reserve. Not
Your brain
surprised.
doesn't have oil.
I would hope it doesn't have an oil reserve, but
You're like a tin man. You're gonna need that oil. If I only had a brain
at
or
least
a heart.
at least he had a bow tie.
Well, you have the brain. You don't have the heart.
Damn.
Boom, 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 boom.
Kate Al says gas where I'm at is $2.80.
Yeah, I don't see anything coming up through the AA site or anywhere else where it's 246. You must be somewhere where.
Well, that's why I said maybe he's in. Said hypothesis.
And I'm not doubting. I'm not saying that's what makes people say we're assholes because we're always right. I'm not always right. It just seems awful low. And we got
Well,
people in
that's another
different
thing.
states, so that seems low, but that's
Like For
Sounds like
example, there's certain things here that were like low,
unless he's being sarcastic when Trump says the
and
gas has dropped to that
well,
price
what I'm
on.
saying is things for here were low, and in my head was like, oh, I see, it hasn't hit us yet.
Oh, Sarah.
But yeah, now
Look at
it's hit
Sarah,
us.
George.
What?
$56 for gas. Oh, man.
Wawa?
Screaming Beaches, man. No way. That's what I was telling somebody. We get every now and then when the family's like, oh, you got to come back and live here. Or we have other people say, oh, if you don't like the Philippines, go back to America. And I just seen some guy on TikTok. You're getting a lot of these older guys with these younger Filipinos. They're doing TikTok and they run live streams all day. That's what they do. I cannot see doing that. They eat in front of the cameras. They talk all night till 2, 3 in the morning. I'm like, ain't you got some banging to do or some grocery shopping or something? It's like you'll see these couples that we keep seeing on TikTok, right? And it's like this one guy goes, there's nothing wrong with America. So I kind of agree with you. But he went on about how great things are. And it's like, no, things ain't been great since the 90s, man. I'm sorry. Prices are up. The place is falling apart. There's the politics things and all this new fangled shit going on. It's like when it comes down to that, if I had paid $56 for gas again, I would shit a brick. There's just no way. It's not worth driving a car anymore to some extent. Like here, if we get into a Grab and go a couple miles away to the mall and return, we're out $10 round trip for a nice AC car, and we're not
Yeah,
driving.
just again, like Heidi
If
says.
I do that in the U.S., I'm out $40 for the same distance round trip with the tip.
Well,
And I'm like,
avoid. I mean, I'm not
I just can't
anti-Filipino
see.
or anything, but Filipinos complain about tricycles. So just saying, if they're complaining about the
I can't
prices
see
on
it.
tricycles, yeah.
But there's a balance on what you
Yeah,
lose and gain. So
yeah.
for being
Wawa,
here,
Canadian company. But real quick, Tony Manning's a Buckeye.
it was in Ohio. It's a 246.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you would know more than I do. I mean, I've never
Yeah.
been to Ohio. I've been in a lot of U.S. states. I've never been to Ohio. Yeah, I've been in Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota. There's not a lot of states I haven't been to, but I haven't
So
been
if
to
he's in
Ohio.
Ohio, it's showing on different websites that are posting current prices and gas apps. 309 is average. $3.15
Well, it's
to
possible
420.
it
He's
hasn't
in a
hit
small town.
hasn't
Yeah.
hit that town yet, or wherever that gas station is. Because the thing about the gas stations, because again, I was a manager at a gas station. You follow what's around your area, and it creeps up. What I'm saying is, it the prices
Toledo
change according to the
is at
competition. Yeah,
289. He said 246.
yeah. So that means
On the 12th, it was at
right.
289 in
So what I'm saying is,
Toledo.
the gas stations around that gas station that he's coming to is somewhat the same price, maybe higher or lower, and then eventually it'll build up. That's how the gas station prices works. That's why I believe, in my opinion, from my experience as being a gas station manager, that gas prices are fictional. I'm not even making that up because it's kind of weird. It's like one of my jobs when I was a gas station manager, when I used to be a gas station manager, is drive around town and look at the gas prices, and then I gauge were my
Where to set yours.
competitive.
Yeah, that was
Correct.
always like
So
that. Even
that
if your gas
right.
came in at
So that
$1,
tells me that wait a minute.
you can't just sell the gas
That means the prices are fictional because I'm basing prices on nothing.
no matter what the price of gas is. A lot of people think, yeah, but it's
Right.
based
And
on
again, it's not conspiracy theory. Talk to real gas station managers. They probably won't tell you because they're currently working.
yeah, we're
But
kind
you
of
get the
off on
picture.
this.
I mean, talk to the
And
retired ones or whatever.
okay, yep. Usually, old rich Filipinos don't have to flaunt it. Yeah, they dress simple. Yeah, most of them do. Even the
Well,
rich, you'll see them
even
step out in fancy cars,
even
or
yeah, even Americans do it. Most millionaires I know in the U.S. wear crap.
yeah.
You have to just look at the little telltale signs, like what are their flip flops?
Yeah, he
What's
said
their
Columbus,
watch?
Ohio,
Yeah,
at Circle K. Huh,
yeah.
interesting.
Buckeye.
Yep. So I forgot you were a Buckeye. So yeah, gas and K Dallas said it's 280.
Yeah. Victoria says, Heidi, it fluctuates between $1.75 and $2.50. Oh, okay. That's per liter. That's not gallons. That's per liter. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, no, here it's per liter, but I translated it to gallons. So it's
Yeah, and there's Thayer
here
coming
it's
in
it's
that yes, he was
1,000 pesos. Yeah.
ridiculously falsely. Yeah, so to wrap up what's going on in today's live stream, it was an unexpected live stream. It's just that now officially a very big figure has come through that's also a pastor, and he has known him forever. The guy has no record. He's done nothing but charity, and that he had all of his permits. That's another thing people were screaming. I said, "How could he?" You know, it didn't sound right. They were saying that, but no, he has all the permits. We have a video, and I think one of the bigger things they're complaining about is the barbed wire, which is all over the Philippines and other facilities. So is the doors and gates being closed. They're going to be teenagers bitching. They're not allowed to stay out till 10 o'clock at night. They just want to run wild like all teenagers. More than likely, it was an older teenager complaining, and they've been inspected over and over again, and they were inspected and they came back. There's always DSWD there. So this isn't new. This isn't a long term investigation. And a lot of people are vouching and they're hoping he'll get out, but he's seriously tarnished at this point. And time will heal that, but I bet they deport him before they actually try to resolve this at this point. It'd be saving face at this point if it's been all through all the big newspapers. Even the government official site in immigration has listed him as being deported. And over what? Because some kids were upset. And out of all the years, for 8 years, there was never a complaint. 8 years. If there were complaints on and off of being a pedo and a toucher and that he left bruises and the kids ran away from the facility for that reason, I get it. But this is not an ongoing investigation where all this has happened. And he's got a lot of people backing him, and we really wish him well. We're trying to get a hold of Bannon man that knows him very well to see what he needs up at the jail today. And we will take that trip if we have to. And he may just need his spirits uplifted right now. And so I can only imagine. I've seen what the facility looks like. It also is not a nice facility. So I'm hoping with his 19-year-old son and Filipino wife, they were always up there with him and they're bringing him food. I'm sure he's got all his comforts. There's not a whole lot we can do but comfort him with words and from another American. So, what you get?
Oh, I'm
Gas.
converting. Black Grandpa says gas goes up to $5 a gallon over there. Yeah, and
Yeah.
Scott says in Maryland it's $2.95 right now over there.
Yeah, she's saying $1.56 in Vancouver, but is
Well,
that per
no,
liter?
no,
They
no,
do
that's per
liters
liter.
there?
That's
Okay.
why I translated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
AI coconut. So
$1.05.
I'll-
That means it's like $6.
I'll go through and edit the first part of the video out, and that way people are rewatching this and stuff. So the audio was unplugged at the beginning. You can hear the music, but
Why is it that high in Canada?
it's Canada. Canada's always massive. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So, all right, guys, we appreciate everybody coming in, and we'll wrap this up. And you can go a little further back and see the videos, or just go to our Facebook. Like I said, we have the Philippine Antics one. We post more at the George Mendoza. It'll say official antics, and a lot of our people are on there anyways.
Yeah, and guys, again, say your goodbyes. Just real quick,
And
again.
thanks for the sticker.
Yeah,
Bad
thanks so much.
Boy.
Our number one fan today is Bad Boy. Number
And
2 is Sarah
Sarah.
Tyson. Number 3 is Black Grandpa. Number 4 is Angelo, and number 5 is Victoria.
But we appreciate it, guys. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and check to see that you are. And consider membership. George put together a bunch of other videos. Over 130 videos, I think, currently, and photos.
Yeah,
and
we have a
different
lot of
things.
naked pics.
Do not, but you have your fans only video in there
Yes,
where you're touching my feet.
yeah, it's me, messing with coke.
No, that's not that fans only video. So you did coke in Mexico. I know you want to brag. So, all right, guys.
Bye, guys.
Let me get off this live
Love you
and
guys.
choke the chicken here.
What?